Okay, so we're here today with Katie Pierce, and she attended one of our thyroid workshops probably back in July with your husband because she was having some thyroid symptoms. She hadn't been diagnosed, she wasn't really sure what was going on, but she knew that she wasn't feeling like she should. So, Katie, tell the listeners a little bit about what you had going on and what brought you into the office to begin with.
Well, my biggest issue was that I was tired all the time. I would wake up tired in the morning after a full night's sleep, and then I would get really tired in the afternoons, and it became my norm, but I knew nobody else was getting that tired, so I knew there was something wrong.
And you have children at home,
kids
and
at home,
responsibilities.
Right, and so it made those difficult. And the major thing that was happening at that time, that had been going on for a long time, but I started to develop some joint pain in my ankle and fingers, and that's when I knew I needed to figure out what was going on.
Great. So you came to the workshop, you ended up signing up for the couple visits to see what we had going on. And we ended up starting a care program with you. And in our office, when we do something like that, we do a variety of different testing. And in your situation, we found out that you had a problem with gluten, number one, that you had a leaky gut, that you had some things living in there that shouldn't have been there, so on and so forth.
Right.
So we've done a variety of neurological and metabolic treatments with you since then, and here it is 3 or 4 months later. What differences have you noticed?
Well, almost immediately, probably within the first couple of weeks, I started to feel so much better. I couldn't believe that I had the energy, just normal energy. I felt normal. That I wasn't feeling like I needed to sleep midway through the day. That it was normal, like at night when I was tired, I would just go to sleep, and then I wake up refreshed. And but it just continued to get better and better till now. I feel great. I feel like I have the energy to just do everything that my life requires me to do.
Which is a lot when you have a couple kids and a husband and a household that you're taking care of.
Exactly. So
what about the joint pain that you had initially?
That went away, completely went away. Could not believe it, but it was gone. And some of that joint pain I had for, like I'd had some in my wrist for a long time, and it would come and go, but that's just been completely gone. Everything's gone away. And so the energy level, that's been great. The other thing is at night, I didn't mention this before, but I was waking up every night really hot and then getting really cold. It was like my body couldn't regulate its temperature.
Right.
And that has completely gone away. I sleep through the night without waking up.
Which is a plus.
Which is huge, yeah. And I wake up ready for the day, just refreshed. So it's great. I mean, it's wonderful to be normal.
Yay. The great thing about Katie is that when she basically followed the protocol, that's what it takes. It takes someone who's really willing to do what needs to get done. We've had to make some significant dietary changes, and a lot of people get kind of worried about that, or that makes them nervous. Can you speak on that as to how hard it was or what that was like?
I was nervous about it too. I didn't want to necessarily give up those things, but I was willing at that point to do whatever it took to feel better, and I did. And once you start to feel better, it just makes it so worth it. I mean, I don't want to eat something that's going to make me feel bad like that. So, so it's different, and you think you're going to have cravings, and that you're just going to just really want certain things, and you just don't have those things.
Right.
And
that's what most people say.
Yeah.
That's what most people say. So the biggest concern for those folks out there that are worried about that is don't worry
about that. Yeah.
Right. Don't let that be a stumbling block for you.
Yeah, don't, because you want to be well, and it really is. It's minimal. I mean, you think it's everything at first, but it becomes minimal, like a very small thing to do in relation to the results you're going to get. The other thing, I've lost it looks like more than 10 pounds now, probably closer to 15 pounds. So, so that's another, I know when your body's just starting to get better,
right.
You know, you get rid of what you don't need. So
you're right. Well, a lot of times you have the inflammation when you have foods that you're eating that you shouldn't have been, that you weren't aware of. Let me digress on this, because you were someone who stays at home and you cook for your family, and you had gone out of your way to get all these organic grains and things
right.
to make your own bread. And then we found out later on that you weren't supposed to be having gluten at all. So
right.
here she was bending over backwards to make sure she was having healthy food for herself and her family. And in the end, what we found out was that was exactly the wrong thing for her to be doing.
Exactly.
But we figured it out. So,
yeah.
that's in the past, so we're moving forward from here. But
yeah, but that, just to speak on that a little bit, I was trying so many different things to figure out what was making me feel bad. I thought it was, bad foods, or, but I didn't know what foods were, I didn't realize that gluten was bothering me.
So that's interesting, because everyone thinks if you have a problem with gluten that you're going to eat a piece of bread and you're just going to be like,
right.
in the bathroom or just doubled over in pain. And that's just not the case.
No, yeah.
It can be something very insidious,
right?
Like joint pain, which doesn't go away, which is one of the things that you had,
exactly.
Or insomnia, or any number of other neurological things.
Right.
So if you had, if there was someone out there that was suffering with a similar problem to what you had, what would your advice be?
I would say come see Dr. Lawrence, because you don't know what it is, and she can get you all the testing that you need to figure out exactly what it is. And I wouldn't wait. I would get on it, because you're only going to get sicker. And if you can figure out what the problem is, you can begin to feel healthy and feel better. So yeah, I highly recommend her. She's very knowledgeable and helpful, and she'll walk you through all of it. So
great.
Yeah.
Thanks for being such a great patient.
Yeah.
Makes my job easier. Thanks,
No
Katie.
problem.